This is the Environmental Protection Commission, regular meeting. It's Wednesday, January 4th, 2023. The first item of business is executive session. The executive session is with Town Council to discuss pending litigation and possible settlement of 179 Brookside LLC versus the Environmental Protection Commission. I need a motion to...
I'd like to, a motion to go into executive session regarding that matter.
Okay, all in favor? For the record, Jim Millard is recused, and he'll stay here. All in favor? Okay. Unopposed. Okay, so it's 6-6-0-1. Gentlemen, ladies, let's go to executive session. Okay, Channel 79, we're back on the record. This is new business. Okay, potential vote to authorize town council. Oh, I think we've dealt with that. Okay, the next item of business is EPC 34-2022, 50 Talmadge Hill Road, G. Cooperman and L. Cooperman, to demolish an existing in-ground pool, patio, and related features, to construct a new in-ground pool house, patio, and equipment fence, and other related facilities proximate to the wetlands and watercourse. The property lies along the south side of Talmadge Hill Road, approximately 800 feet east of Hollow Tree Ridge Road, and is identified as map 2, lot number 444. The zone is R2, and it is approximately 2.237 acres. Rick?
Mr. Chairman, a new application that's up scheduled for, on this evening's agenda to essentially start the statutory time. Just one thing that we just should note for the record is that Mr. Chairman had to leave.
Yes.
Following a
Call from home.
call from home, so.
Was he all right? Yeah, oh yeah, it's kid stuff. Okay. Babysitting.
A new application, again, to construct a new in-ground pool that would demolish the existing one to do a pool house on the property. Again, on the agenda this evening, to start, acknowledge receipt, start the statute time clock, determined based on our initial perception if a public hearing is warranted or not. Staff has already visited the site. We'll be preparing a list of additional information that would be necessary, taking into consideration if you had any initial comments, as well as those here this evening, if there are any outstanding questions. But we're just at the beginning of this process, that there is wetlands along one side of the property, a small water course. The space between the existing pool and that water course in the wetland is currently maintained as lawn, but there will be a fairly typical request for information pertaining to drainage impact, water quality, sediment erosion control, mitigative measures that can be meaningful and enhance the overall conservation values of the property and functionality in terms of filtering runoff and so forth. That's it.
Any commission members have any questions or comments that would like to be directed to the applicant or Rick? No?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just, so we were just given a map, just so I'm clear. So the area in green is all lawn now, except for a couple, like shrubs and trees, and they're proposing to plant.
Well, again, this is the first time that we've seen it, but the area, the space between the pool house, there's the existing pool is right in this, is right in here.
Yeah.
Pool gets pushed a little bit in
Shifted.
this direction, the pool house is placed here. This space between here and here currently is all lawn with a few intermittent plantings in it.
This is the fence, right?
Yeah, is that fence going to move on that side, or is it staying in the same location?
We'll find out all the, we'll get a civil drawing, but we'll, get the details of the fence and the location of the fence.
Bill?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, the design of the pool, in order to get everything further away from the wetland area, if it could be pushed further north, pushed further toward the house, and that proposed pool house could be put at one end or the other if it's moved further north, or they put it to the north. Or even put it in the backyard, change the angle of it and put it in the backyard. It's just, in the initial correspondence, it said they're worried about a tree, but it's, the small tree
Right.
in front is nothing to get too excited about. The sycamore, yeah, a little bit more problem if they put it back there. So I'm not sure why they couldn't get this further away from the wetlands area. With a little redesign, getting closer to the house, further north, and then put that pool house on one end of it.
Yeah, they'll have to
instead of off.
consider reasonable and prudent alternatives.
I'm just wondering if there needs to be any notice to the town of New Canaan in respect to the
There was none.
drainage? Okay, thank you.
I guess one other item is, I like the new no-mow area. It'd be nice if they did a little of that further up on the stream as well. They don't have to be quite as wide if they don't want to, but something to protect that small brook area from the same lawn issues they have further north. So they don't need to, they shouldn't have to stop there and just take it further on up would be a nice add. Since we're trying to keep everything out of the, all the lawn area, right out of the wetlands, brook area. I think that's all I had.
Okay. Anything
Oh,
else?
I did one other question. I assume this is not on sewers, right? This is septic up there?
Talmadge Hill is on the septic, right?
Okay, so they're gonna add another building, and then they're forcing it into the existing leaching fields, and I know that's not our expertise, but, I sure hope the health department is looking at existing leaching fields and figuring out capacity, because that pool house can be a party house, on any occasion, and hopefully that leaching field can handle all that.
That's all be part of the
Right.
civil drawings.
Okay, good, appreciate that. The other thing that would have been helpful to me is to have that staked out. And especially if they're gonna change this, it'd be nice to see, all right, stake out where the development is on this lot, so when we walk there, we're not all confused. It's very difficult. So, hopefully they'll change it, and then they can stake that out so we can see it and go back again and see exactly where the wetland. They had some wetland markers right stuck next to the fence, but it wasn't really clear if that's, and there are only 2 of them there, so it'd be nice if they had a good wetland line marked out and then a development stakeout for the pool and the pool house would be helpful.
I can't add to what Bill is bringing up on,
Anybody? Okay.
I'll give out
Okay.
the location and we'll.
So, Rick, you got that, so we can move on to the next? Okay. Old business, EPC 30-2022-23 Crimmins Road, S. Rogers and M. Rogers to construct and expand a recreational wooden deck and other related features in the special flood area, hazard areas, and within 50 feet of the wetlands. The property lies along the south side of Crimmins Road, approximately 600 feet east of Fitch Avenue, and is identified as map number 41, lots number 116 to 117. The zone is R1/3, and this lot is approximately 30,132 square feet. Rich?
Mr. Chairman, we have a draft resolution. We were directed last month, staff was directed last month to prepare a resolution for the board's consideration, commission consideration. And very briefly, there's a deck expansion that's on the rear plane of the dwelling. The property has a finger of wetlands that reaches in all along, reaches into the backyard. Most of the property is in the base floodplain, and the applicant has provided testimony and information to address the important concerns ranging from drainage impact, consistency with the flood regulations in terms of structural floodproofing, demonstrating that it's not a substantial improvement, that's not going to have a hydraulic impact on wetlands and water course, hydraulic impact on the flood potential of the river, And all that information has been summarized in the draft resolution that's before you. Just to note, one thing that the commission had asked for was a planting of some portion of the wetland that is in the scope and scale of what's being proposed. The applicant has provided a plan, but it's very important that staff work with the applicant to develop something that's more meaningful, made it a condition of the approval.
So we have, are you satisfied with the planting plan?
The plan needs to be worked on because it's
Can we see it?
excessive.
So,
Oh.
Yeah, it's excessive.
okay, then, are you, what are you suggesting here, that we approve conditionally?
Yep, that's what I did.
Or should we hold this for next month?
Nope.
As a stimulus to get?
Nope, he's working very cooperatively to get
Okay.
the plan
Okay.
to be more in scope and scale of what the project is.
Okay, Jim, can I have a motion to approve this?
Yes,
I had a-
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, sorry.
I had a question, I'm sorry, I don't want to belabor things,
Mhm.
but the planting plan, I assume, I think, weren't there some financial implications that it was close to the edge of, and then if it exceeded
50%.
the 50%, yeah, and they were at 42%, so with the planting
You don't
plan,
count
is
the
it
plantings.
possible that it would put them over 50?
No, you don't count the plantings. It's only
Oh.
for, in the flood purposes, the flood regulations.
structure.
Okay,
To look at the percentage of the improvements relative to the fair market value of the structure.
okay,
And then there's a clock associated with it.
Mhm.
And
okay.
There's a 3-year clock.
Got
So,
it.
and the improvements are cumulative, so if it's some number of improvements over a 3-year period, as long as it stays less than 50%, you don't have to structurally flood-proof in
Right,
total.
to the building though, to the
building
structure,
only.
not the
Right, it has nothing
rest
to
of the
do-
yard. Okay, got it, understood, thank you.
Just a
Okay.
quick procedural question. If we approve this, you're not happy with the planning plan, we can hold off everything and, or once we approve it and you're not satisfied, what happens?
Doesn't get a building permit.
The planning plan, if the,
Right.
if you're not happy with that, but we've already approved it, I'm just curious.
Yep, he doesn't get a building permit.
Okay. You can hold it up, in other words.
Final plans and reports shall be subject to review and approval of EPC prior to the start of any site activity and the issuance of any zoning or building permits. Final plan shall include planting plan for portions of the designated land area to displace along the
All
right.
right, so you have the control on that?
Yes.
Good, thanks.
What is it?
And that's not just for him, I'm just for thinking of the rest of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay,
I'll show you.
Okay.
all right. Motion to approve, please.
Yes, I move that we approve the conditional permit on the application of EPC number 30, 2022.
Second, the conditional permit approval, 30-2022.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approved. Next piece of business is EPC 31-2022, 1 Pembroke Trail, J. Hurley Jr. and J. Amos, to demolish existing garage, construct residential additions, reconstruct a drive, install drainage, and implement other related activities proximate to the wetlands and watercourses. The property lies along the north side of Tanglewood Trail, just west of Roqueton Road, and is identified as map 18, lot 28. The zone is an R1/2, and the property is approximately 26,266 square feet. We, Rick?
So Chairman, this application was accepted at last month's meeting, and the applicant has submitted information in support of the application to address the outstanding concerns or the important concerns that are outlined by staff and the commission members. If you recall, the applicant's existing well has an existing single-family dwelling and is proposing to demolish his existing garage and to reconstruct it in essentially the same place. changing some of the elevations on the interior, regrading his driveway to match those changes to the interior of the garage, eliminating an existing catch basins that discharges directly to wetlands, to do a couple small additions, one to the rear of the garage and one to the front plane of the dwelling, including the porch. The dwelling is currently undergoing renovation to the interior. So this is the next phase of the project. If you have been to the site, you will note that the regulated areas include a reach of Cummings Brook, which is it's beyond the west property, runs up to the adjoining property owner's property to the west with a fringe wetland. To the rear of the property, which is north, there's an intermittent channel that runs perpendicular, it's essentially a tributary to Cummings Brook, that conveys storm water during larger storms. Beyond that small intermittent water course, fringe wetland directly around it, beyond it, it's wooded wetland further to the north. Issues that have been addressed by the applicant, there's been a site development plan proposed. The encroachments affect temporarily or permanently about 500 square feet of the upland review area. There's no direct wetland encroachments or watercourse encroachments. Vast majority of the property that's affected by the construction is currently maintained and held as manicured surface or planting beds. Grade change is low, generally limited to less than 2 feet. The structures that are being posted are less than 27 feet to the wetlands and 38 feet to the water courses. Very limited loss of vegetation, limited to foundation planting, essentially along the building itself. Project engineer is on board, did a plan, it's gone through some number of reiterations. The original proposal, if you remember, involved significantly more structured drainage, but through the process it was determined that there was an existing drainage system on the property. The applicant's able to seize on that and to address any potential drainage concerns by dropping it to that system or drop it to the ground with no adverse impact on drainage in the adjoining properties. That's been certified by the project engineer and has been reaffirmed by the town's consulting engineer in this case. Any storm drains that roof drains that discharge to the ground will go over splash pads. There's been a basic maintenance plan that's been provided, and again has been endorsed by the consulting engineer. Water quality, erosion control plan has been provided, stabilized gutter outfalls. There's anti-tracking pad, storage and stockpile areas. And again, one of the important things that historically installed catch basin that directly discharges off the property onto the adjoining property into the water course is going to be abandoned. So we'll lose that point discharge. In terms of mitigation, if you notice when you're out of the property to the west of the driveway, this property has been maintaining land that was on the adjoining property owner's property, cutting grass, maintaining it, cutting trees, those kinds of things.
To the brook.
To the brook.
Yeah.
There's going to be a demarcation feature that's going to be allowed to return to its native condition. There'll be no more lawn cutting in that place. It's not prudent, in my opinion, that there'd be landscaping on somebody else's property or activities on somebody else's property. So the fact that that'll be allowed to go fallow is a positive. A no-mow zone has been established in that area. To the rear of the property, some of the debris that's currently there, there's like a zip line and all kinds of things that historically there is going to be removed, some debris is going to be removed, and a planting plan was provided that's going to add about, I think it's 15 or 20 shrub plantings to displace lung, filter runoff, and improve the overall conservation values of the regulated areas and property. That seems to be a good summary of the of what's going to go on. It took a lot of work in a short period of time, but also Mr. Hurley is here if you have any questions for him, or I'm certainly available for questions.
Nope.
No questions?
None, Mr. Chairman, I have no questions.
Quick one. So, so you said the town engineer has, so the existing Cultex, there's one in the rear of the house and there's one in the front of the house. I don't know how old they are, but they've been tested and they function as planned?
Yeah, I mean.
There are no issues with them?
No issues that, came through this review process.
Mm-hmm.
There was some as-built data
Mm-hmm.
that we were able to find that laid out what was there, what was put in the ground, and the certifications that was done per their plan. That was probably 10 years ago. That was done, maybe a little bit more.
And then you had mentioned some additional plantings that are planned. So I noticed that sort of to the east of the bridge that goes over the tributary. There's sort of like a berm with some plantings there, but there's nothing to the west of that. Is that where? Because otherwise it just goes right to the water.
I think you'll note in my description that.
No, up here.
Up in the back of the agreement.
Yeah.
That, some of the plantings we put along the property boundary.
Okay.
And probably some relocation or some additional planting that should be in here. And this is where
Yeah.
it's probably more critical to.
Right here, yeah.
To displace the lawn
Mhm.
and, filter the runoff before it gets into that.
Right, yeah, that's what I would like to see. That's all I have.
So we don't have we can't request anything in the no-mow zone because it doesn't belong to this property. Is that what I'm
Yes.
hearing? Okay, just to be clear. Okay, I just have one other question. Were you finished with your question?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. You said that there was there a sort of, any sort of maintenance plan or stormwater plan or any?
Yes, they did a basic stormwater maintenance plan for the existing Cultex.
Oh, just for the Coltex?
Yes.
There's nothing else on it? Like they don't have to clean out any part of the stream at any time on any kind of ongoing schedule? I mean, I know we've had
Major component of the stream
others
is on
do
somebody
that.
else's property,
Uh-huh.
and there's the intermittent channel.
Okay,
It's
so
in the back.
their part, we don't think it makes any sense
We're
to
doing the
require them to clean
cleanup
out?
of the space to the rear of the property.
Okay, they are cleaning it out.
Yeah.
but
Does that-
one and done, not
Yes.
ongoing.
Correct.
Should it be ongoing? Or is that, does that make sense?
only for his
At
benefit.
any kind of frequency?
It's a channel, you see it clog, again, we have
Some
to.
people, we hold accountable to do that right? I mean, some we do, some we don't. I
And
don't.
again, we're working on trying to introduce a little bit more, a document that's gonna make it more that if embraced by the boards and commissions, that you can do something like a drainage maintenance agreement that would say, keep your channel clear. At this point,
Yeah.
we're not doing that, we have a plan. We file that matter typically on the land records. It says, keep your drainage clean, follow your maintenance and operations plan, clean your channel. We can do that. We could add that to the maintenance plan.
If it means anything, the Rokatan Tanglewood Association, we pay to clean all our drains ourselves. And we bring the guys in once a year. And whenever somebody has, like if you go north of 3 and 4 Tanglewood, there's a small drain there that constantly gets clogged. We're the ones that clean it. If somebody to my east feels that their water is accumulating, we go in and we take the leaves out of the drainage creek. So as a neighborhood, we do it already.
If you're more comfortable, we can just add it to the basic maintenance plan. Feel free to.
Yeah. Okay.
I did have one other question. Rick, when you talk about cleaning the channel, I know there were some, like debris there. In the past, we have asked people to remove invasives, like I think there was some amount of like winged euonymus there, burning bush. Would we request that that be removed as part of the
No, I'm
cleanup?
not recalling, was that placed, was that in the planting plan? I don't remember, I guess that she didn't do it. But that could certainly be part of it.
I mean, it was near the back tributary.
Maybe along the tree. too.
That's all I have.
I don't, okay. Okay, Rick, with that, with those, how much would you like to write up a permit for
We'll
approval?
do a resolution for early and we'll add whatever the concerns are.
Good.
Thank you.
The next piece of business is EPC 32, 2022-41 St. Nicholas Road.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
The applicant has requested that we postpone hearing is till February, because he's missing a couple of pieces.
Yes, I was very disappointed. I actually drafted a report. It was a magnificent proposal, and they have to make some modifications. So we got the request to defer. I was disappointed.
So, okay, then, moving on, people have the approval of minutes. Jim's done his usual.
Miller's done his magic.
I'm not sure there was a lot of magic.
Listen, I'm going to propose you to the Board of Ed to get a substitute English teacher. So, does anybody else have any questions or comments here? No? Okay, Jim, can I have a motion to approve?
Yes, I'm pleased to make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of December 7, 2022 of the Environmental Protection Commission.
I can't vote. because I'm-
Same,
Okay.
yeah.
Second the motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of December 7th.
Okay, so let's go through this.
I have to abstain.
You're up, you're out, so it's 303,
Maybe
okay?
three is the
Because they,
Jared, Millard, and McGinnis.
right, okay? Because the three other members were
Out.
out. There are no agent approvals, there's no other business, so can I have a motion to adjourn?
Well, just one thing, just
Yeah.
to be aware, Jeremy has advised me that over the next month or two, they're introducing, they want to go electronic
Oh.
with everything. So,
You're young, that's
So,
all.
just be-
Paper.
just be, if everybody's, if individuals are uncomfortable, we'll still get paper copies, but they want to do electronic, and
Old world.
they issue to commission members iPads for the use of this. They said new iPads, but they're actually refurbished iPads from the Board.
What if we ever are?
That's amazing.
So iPads, and then
Some
what
middle
we
school.
will get is the submittals electronically, and what you'll get is my report and a link to the plans. They've tried it for a month with the Architectural Review Board, and they actually liked it. And it actually worked very well, and it was actually very easy to link it to, like, here for presentation purposes.
Oh.
So, just be aware, he asked me just to, everybody I'm sure would want an iPad, just to use it.
Yeah.
And, again, if you're uncomfortable with it, try it, but we'll still get you the paper copies if need be.
So would we be able to access the files from our phones and personal computers as well as the iPad? Or is it strictly iPad is for this use only?
Town
You know what I mean?
business.
Like, so I can't get on like Darien.gov on my personal computer, but I don't know if, is there like is it like an intranet that
I
it's
think what-
hosted
I
on
think-
with all the
Again,
documents?
Again, don't ask me.
Maybe that's why you're not getting on.
No, I can't, I don't have access through my company, like.
Oh.
yeah.
But what's, like, you know, again, you'll get electronic, there's gonna be links to the open view where the plans are gonna be and all the items. The only thing that's a little bit difficult, and we'll have to figure out.
The
how to
colored
sort
highlighters,
through
we
it.
won't be able to use our colored highlighters, you know, because I was yeah,
I live by that.
me
You
too.
might be able to make notes.
Me
on
too.
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the, you know, we just have to make sure
Program
that
they're
it's
using.
very well organized, so it makes it easy for you to track the latest and greatest plans to look at.
I think it could be easier, God forbid, that you have like a folder for this house and you can click on all the different things and it's like more organized.
So-
or- Yeah.
You know, there's upsides and downsides. You know, no deliveries in the middle of the night get dropped off at your houses or in your mailboxes. And
So we have to actually remember to look for them.
yes, but again, it's going to be
Probably get it sooner too.
Maybe.
Right.
easier to gain access to see all the information. We just have to make sure be diligent in making it very well organized so it's easy for you. What they've done is they established links for not only the application, but also for the plans that are pertinent to the application. So that'll be in the next few months, but everybody's interested in an iPad.
Question, Rick.
Mhm.
You won't be surprised to hear this question from me. The conditional approval that applies to any given application, what, I think the word's application, is it coming through on for editing?
Oh,
I mean, is
So
it coming
no,
through in
you
a
mean
Word,
coming
in
through
a
as a
Word,
PDF or a
or a
doc?
Word document, a
Because,
PDF?
because when,
If it's PDF, it's not editable.
you know, I don't know.
You
I
can
mean,
mock up PDFs. They're-
You
they're-
can mock them
they're-
up, you can put
yeah.
comments, you
Yeah.
can highlight.
You can highlight, right, and you can do little post-it
No.
notes on them,
No.
actually.
But you're talking about like on
Yeah, how-
reports or.
how do we
make
take his
notes on
comments?
plans.
Yeah.
How does Jim do
Or-
his edits, like this?
Check the edit, check the minutes. You
I
know,
think
when
that's an edit
when they come
function for
through
PDF.
on a Word document, you send it back to
I
you.
mean, I think usually
Time.
what we do is we'll do it by a Word document.
Right.
Continue to do it as a Word document, get the edits, and then it'll be posted on the open view.
We'll work all that out.
Could I propose as we roll this out?
It'll
that
work out.
Maybe someone from the technology group give a 15, 20-minute tutorial? Just
Or an
to-
hour.
That's a good
Or
idea.
an hour.
She'll need 15 or 20 minutes, we'll have you now.
There's always a
Depending on what program is.
Sure, I will ask.
Thank you.
That's a good suggestion, though.
Mm.
So when we walk up to these, knock on the door, I used to always have this in my hand, so they immediately gave me a little bit like, oh, he's probably from the town. Now I'm
Right.
gonna walk with an iPad and they're gonna say, what are you selling?
Yeah.
Just take an old plan with
Bill, you
you.
can take some of the old papers.
Exactly what you guys are thinking. I mean, that's the biggest
have them as props.
concern I have, and I am open to learning, is that I love the ability of a large piece
Yeah.
to look at versus I'm gonna have to like zoom in, zoom out, zoom out.
Yeah.
If the architecture folks were able to do it with like AutoCAD drawings and
I know,
different,
I know.
like if they're able to do it,
I
I
know.
like it.
You're right. Give it the all
Take it like a man, come
Give
on.
it a shot.
Okay, sign me up.
All right, anything else on that?
No, that's
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
I'm pleased to make a motion to adjourn our meeting of tonight in the Environmental Protection Commission of January 4, 2023.
And second the motion to adjourn the meeting EPC January 4th, 2023.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye. Good night, Channel 79.
Thank you all.
Yep.